your host Nitty from Nitty Gritty Garage. I'm Pretty Gritty from For the Record. Let's get gritty with your host Nitty from Nitty Gritty Garage. I'm Pretty Gritty from For the Record.
Hello, everybody. We're going to discuss Daytona. We saw RJ Hampshire take a win for the 250 class with a heartfelt story shared on stage. Let's take a listen.
And man, he was with us today. Like, some guy came to me in the pits and had his old jersey that he raced with back in the day, and that's something I never had. And yeah, it just felt different today, man. Like my dad was definitely here, but man, just so stupid.
That's great to see somebody give somebody like that a good gift, like somebody that you think that has just about everything. In my opinion, a sentimental gift. You couldn't ask for something more.
It just made me fucking cry. It was such a beautiful moment, and I was just bawling tears. Unfortunately, we also witnessed the chef, Levi Kitchen, crash really bad. It was horrible.
Yeah, and it was crazy to see as like they were showing Mitch Payton, unfortunately, and it happened right then. Again, unfortunate for Pro Circuit Kawasaki. They just are bitten by the injury bug again.
Do you think he had been overstressed with the whole changing coast and the drama with Deegan, or possibly over-obsessing with keeping up with Chase as they were training together? Because everybody was showing how he was like full beast mode.
I don't know if bulking up is always the best answer. Sometimes your reaction twitch muscles aren't the same. And also, I don't know if you should take anything from Chase Sexton. A little too much of a machine, you know?
Different styles.
Yeah, like sometimes maybe you have to flow a little bit more. Sexton's so machine-like. Maybe that's why he's crashing. He needs to like not react so quick. Just let it flow.
I'm not a huge Chase fan, but I give him credit where credit's due, and he definitely stays fit, and he is very technical with his riding, and I'm sure he's like OCD. So I give him props there. Now, the real Cinderella story was Mr. German Chocolate himself, Kickstart Kenny. So what do you think? Does he have what it takes to make the championship all his this year?
I'm going to say no.
Do you think it's because everybody that's out and he's just the only one right now that happens to be at that level? Or do you think for some reason this year he just has the best speed?
I think he's probably just more like a top 5 guy with everybody not injured. Now that everyone's injured, he's probably a top 3. I mean, it's more like Sexton or Webb that should be taking the championship, in my opinion. Kenny will probably win another race.
Do we think we will see Eli Tomac, Jordan Smith, or Jet and Hunter return to the races before the end of this season?
I think they said that we're supposed to see Jet, and Eli said he might come back for 2, but they should probably just stay out. Injuries, the way that this season's been going for Supercross, it could really mean another big injury.
How about Hunter? Can't forget Hunter.
I don't even remember his injury, to be honest with you.
I believe it was shoulder.
Yeah, maybe he could come back. I guess HRC could have someone ride, but I mean, they're not going to win anything. So, I mean, just to get into form for outdoor, I guess.
So going back to the whole topic of Daytona, what was the worst moment and the best moment?
Worst moment's definitely got to be Levi white knuckling it and slapping himself, and then turning out to fracture your back. That's not good. And definitely the best was RJ. That was a good win for him. He needed that, and then, like you said, that speech with the guy giving him the jersey, that's awesome.
I have to agree with you on RJ. Sorry, Kenny. I love you, and I'm glad you won, but I think he stole the moment on the podium with that. And yeah, I have to absolutely 100% agree. Levi's crash was gut-wrenching to see. It's terrible.
It was cool to see Cody shock, and he got a top 10 on a 250 in the 450 class. I mean, I think that kind of, like I said earlier with Kenny, everyone's kind of coming up. If a 250 can run it in the top 10, I mean, before it was stacked, the top 15, you could name everybody in the 450 class.
Now, we have to discuss the big-ass elephant in that fucking booth. So, Daniel Blair, Ricky Carmichael, and Lee Diffie, and all that drama. I don't even know, honestly, where to start with it. I will say I have researched as much as I can, and the public's view on them, and I haven't really found any complaints of Daniel. Most of them are compliments. It's really hard to find something bad on him. Going to Ricky, it's all over the internet. It's been all over the internet, but of course it's being resurfaced now. And Lee Diffie was not on my bingo card for anything. So I had to research him, not knowing much, and either. So when it comes to the drama itself, I'm leaning towards believing Daniel and his story, and it really tells me something that those two have still not come out with any statements.
I agree. There's definitely some fire where that smoke is. There are some selected few that think that Daniel maybe, jumped or skipped putting his dues in. But if you're that good and a lot of people really like you, maybe you don't have to put in 15 years commentating somewhere else. Like, just because you're really good at something like Ricky doesn't mean that you're going to be good at commentating.
Which has been most of the world's agreement, I believe, because he doesn't really do any analysis. He doesn't really bring anything to the table except for the... Oh! And it never is for anything. It's usually a nothing burger. I never thought he would be good in the booth. I don't think he should stay in the booth. I think James Stewart is awesome. I think he brings a lot more to the table. He brings the information, the details, suggestions, analysis, and he has a great personality and smile on camera. And Jason the Weege, like I always say, he's just a machine. He does the play-by-play as if it was, I don't even know. He is completely 100%. And if he makes a mistake, I doubt anyone really catches it because he is that good.
It's almost like another thing, like Tom Brady. He's a decent commentator, but his first year he gets the Super Bowl. Like, that's kind of crazy. Tony Romo was way better. No championships, though, so, oh no, People aren't always that great. Like, Michael Jordan, as a team owner, was terrible with the Charlotte Bobcats. He was not a people person either. So, what's that tell you sometimes?
Yeah, and Michael Jordan now is dipping his toes into NASCAR, and that hasn't been really that great. But what do you think about Lee Diffie, and who would you prefer to see in the booth?
I mean, he's not necessarily terrible. He's not that bad, I don't think. It's more like how he is maybe behind the scenes more. Is he fully dedicated to Supercross? He's, been dipping his feet into IndyCar and jumping over there. I believe he is. He does have a contract with some other sport right now. So it's like, do you really want him doing both?
That I also agree. He is good on the mic, especially for someone who wasn't looking to be a broadcaster before, didn't study it or any of that. So it's pretty natural to him, which is what people were hoping for Ricky Carmichael, and it obviously is not. And that's another reason why people prefer Daniel. It's not just of a perfection thing. It's more of a relatable. He kind of talks to the audience as if he's your friend and you know him personally. It sounds cheesy, but that is the truth. So what I've been noticing in my previous videos is that a lot of people that are Ricky fans obviously are going to support him and say, he's the GOAT, greatest of all time. He could do whatever the hell he wants, which is complete bullshit, and we all know it. But a lot of people were sneaking in, what about Jeremy McGrath? So when you look at the stats, they're pretty long and extensive, and they're both very extremely impressive. And if I really, really, really think about it, in my opinion, I see more of Jeremy McGrath being a better mentor for the next generation than Ricky. I really don't picture Ricky spending any time with the youth groups or anything, unless they're paying to use his tracks or something. But Jeremy McGrath does a lot of stuff with Kawasaki and teaching all mechanics.
I don't know. It's tough to say because it's like people are always locked into who you watched, right? So it's like the Joe Montana, the Tom Brady, McGrath, the king, Carmichael, the GOAT, Bubba Stewart, the fastest man alive, Villapoto. What about him? How about where does Tomac end up? He's got a lot of wins. Just because your average win percentage is lower, does that make you less? If you have a longer career, should that make you better? Or is that watered down because you had more gate drops? So it's kind of tough to say.
As soon as you said Jeremy was the king, it makes me think with all these comments that are protecting and backing up and supporting Ricky, saying he could do whatever he wants, to whoever he wants, however he wants. I guess, are you trying to tell me he's the princess of the sport? Because that's what it seems like. He's allowed to do whatever he wants. Just not even a slap on the wrist.
Maybe he's just a goat in the courtyard walking around headbutting people, bullying people.
Well, this weekend, tomorrow, Supercross Saturday, is Indy, Indianapolis. So, I ain't talking about it. I don't know. People are worried. But, they say every race, gotta watch out for the whoops. Oh, the whoops. We shall see.